As a child, there was a time when I had a family. A time when I knew beauty and love. But darkness took it all.
Joph! Crystal!
There is no place for you here.
And now, the memory fades. Now, anyone I reach out to for help dies. So I am alone, dreaming, caught between hope and hate. There's only one thing left for me: revenge. If it will not kill me, I will fight it. Wherever it is, however I can, until the end. But the question in my mind lingers. Is there anyone else like me? Can anyone save me?
Are you searching for me? Or am I searching for you? You may not know me, but you can help me. Find me, save me. We are the same, but I am more. I can save you. Can you save me?
Hello, and welcome to our podcast about the making of a new motion picture entitled The Seraphim. In this story, our protagonist, Joph Claring, is ignorant of his celestial heritage, and from an early age he has been beset upon by a demonic beast that torments him, terrorizes him, and tempts him in a way that sets up a final conflict between the forces of heaven and hell. A character introduced midway through the film is someone we only know as the mysterious woman, but she quickly becomes a key figure. Laura Arumugam is playing that role, and I'm curious to know how you feel about playing her, Laura, and your opinion of the mysterious woman. So please, no spoiler, please, but do tell us your impressions of her.
Of course. Well, the mysterious woman is a person that both Joph and the audience will seek to know. Her motives are not clear and her emotions are inscrutable. So what is clear, though, is that there's a strong attraction between her and Joph. And this will have a lot of implications for the ultimate outcomes of the film. So.
Yes, she certainly is an interesting figure, and I think it will be wonderful to watch you bring her to life on the screen. But now that our audience has had a chance to learn how our story of the Seraphim is progressing, I'm betting that they are now curious to know more about you. So, Laura, tell us your story. Elaborate on your background and how you got started.
Yeah, so I've always been when I was a child I was doing modeling, and so I actually got an acting agent when it was after I did modeling for a few years, and I was pretty young, probably like early teens. And so I did acting. I was going to this John Casablanca's like acting school in Tampa. So I would do that a couple times a week. While I was also in middle school is when I was doing that. So it was like so busy. I would finish middle school or I'd finish school for the day. And then I would get in a car, and we're a couple hours away from Tampa. And then, then I'd go to like this night acting school there. And then I would drive back, and I would sometimes just fall asleep in the clothes that I went. It was so bad. I was just exhausted, or sleep in the car. A lot of times my dad would like carry me back from the car because it I'd be exhausted. But it was so fun, and it just felt so cool to be able to do that at that age. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity that my parents were supportive, that I got to do that. And I think it always helped me throughout my life. I also did I did acting, I did drama in high school, and I did a play in high school, and then just as I got older, I initially started going to college for pre-med, and then it was so funny because in my family, a lot of them are medical. Like my dad's a doctor, and so like I thought, oh yeah, like maybe that's what I'll do. But I remember when I was telling him, I'm like, no, I think I want to. I started becoming friends with like the theater kids at school, and I was sort of convinced already, and then still doing some auditions here and there, like virtually. So I was like, oh, I might as well just do this. And he was like. I remember like there's silence. He was like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you, I don't know, like with changing my major, but it was fine. I think it's for the best. I realized that a lot of times you don't have to, there's so many ways to continue your learning. It doesn't have to be like staying on, like continuing to do it at a college. It can be like, you can have like an acting coach or however. And I think even for me, one of the best ways for learning was like, if I have an audition and then I just have someone helping me, like someone professional that has experience. And for me, I think that was my favorite way to learn because you're actually doing the real thing and you can get like real results versus just a class and you're still learning for the role. And anyway, so sorry, that was such a long answer.
Well, no, that's very interesting. And the whole pre-med angle sort of intrigues me because that's heavy scientific endeavor. So what steered you initially in that direction?
Well, actually, I think there is a lot of synergy between people who are scientific and interested in science and people who are interested in acting and theater, whether they realize it or not, because both involves a certain level of creativity and almost like some imagination because, just it's kind of like you're learning another language, like you're learning a script, like when you're learning because medical terminology, it's so different from what you'd normally hear and you're like matching what this means to your body or your mind. And so it's like, it's a whole nother world and it can be really interesting. And I think science is, it's just like connecting everything around us. And I feel like when you're doing any kind of acting, you're like, you're connecting to what's happening in the real world. And it's, on a more psychological level and just, it's more human. It's like, more physical, you're doing it in that way. But in science, you're also connecting with a lot of different things. And it's very like, about real like life that's in front of you instead of just like math or something. It's like everything in front of you. I don't know how to explain it, but so I think for me, I felt like there was always a connection. So it made sense for me.
That's great. That's great. That's really great. So tell me your thoughts about this particular character. She is very unusual. We've discussed this character.
Yeah.
He does have a secret. We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
But I guess the question I had was, how do you feel about the situation that the mysterious woman is in with Joph? The whole conflict between the commonality that they share, but also the fear that they share. How does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I think it can be really scary when like they're still trying to learn, trying to figure out like, can we really trust each other? And, but they don't want to come across, you have to be careful when you're in that situation. Like you still want the other person to feel comfortable. You don't want to share too much, but like I think they're just trying to like find their balance, but I think she's definitely a pivotal part of his life, but it's not in such a direct way where you can see it immediately, but I think she just has this sort of effect on him. And he's like, and I think that's what a woman, like where men don't realize this, but they're like struggling, going through a lot internally. And even just having someone around, even when, you know, you're still kind of like figuring out like where it's going to go and like how that flow is, it's still really meaningful. And I think it's just, yeah, I think like with an elusive woman, it makes you kind of like, it's kind of like difficult sometimes to know where you stand, but I think that makes a man like they like look inward, and like it reflects in a way, because, you know, it makes him kind of think about himself and like what do I have to offer? Like, what is she, like, who am I? Like, what kind of person am I being? And like, what is like this purpose and my life, like this purpose of her in my life, and like what does all of this mean? And so I think it helps with his character building and his, like, him being more introspective, and just like, I think that's what a woman does. It's like in her role, sort of, it's like to kind of like, she's going to help him with figuring himself out and like just putting pieces together, and like she's this like more supporting role in that way. So yeah.
To what degree do you think that these characters feel that they're in control?
Well, definitely, I think Mysterious Woman, I think maybe she feels more like that than Joph, because I think he's just, you know, psychologically, he goes through a lot. He's trying. So I think like when you're going, like, life is so psychologically like difficult, and you're like trying to navigate, and maybe you have sort of what feels like a false control sometimes, because like you're just trying to like make it through all these weird situations that he's still trying to figure out. But I think really deep down, he doesn't really feel like he has too much control, but I don't know if he's like really accepting that. But I think that's kind of maybe more where she comes into play, where like maybe she can, like, if he can start to feel, you know, like very more reassured with her, then I think like she can kind of help him like become more centered and feel like he has more control. So yeah.
Yeah, that could be the motive. That could be the primary motivator. I mean, are they really in control? That's a very good question. Well, that was great. Thanks, Laura. We can't wait to see you in the film.
Yeah, me
Our
too.
time is up for today, so I would like to thank Laura and you for joining us today. And there's more to come. We will have another climactic scene reading, so please like this video and subscribe to our channel for the latest updates as we talk more about the production of our film, The Seraphim.
My favorite character is the Mysterious Woman. Why is she my favorite character? Because, I don't know if we can give that away, she speaks French and never returns to speaking English at one point in the story. Very fascinating. How do you even come up with that? Very brilliant. And she does it so beautifully, and it fits so beautifully.
Yeah.
Beautifully. Not to completely change the subject, but it reminds me in a very strange way of a Star Trek episode. I'm sorry, I am a child of the 90s, Star Trek Next Generation, and anyway, it reminds me of Jean-Luc Picard and all these other wonderful characters. But anyway, we're getting carried away. So yeah,
I think you're right about that. That's a very interesting question, because the Mysterious Woman is really a very, very interesting character, because she's really two characters in one. I'll just say that. She's two characters in one. And how that affects our protagonist and what that means to the story is really interesting, because, and there's a whole nother aspect to that too, but and we can get into that when we talk about some of the other characters that are affected by the entity. But yeah, I don't want to give away too much of the story, because she is an incredibly important character. We do introduce her in the podcast. We do introduce her, and she is a character who offers the possibility of salvation to our protagonist, to Joph. So he absolutely positively is driven to find her. But when he does, whatever expectations he has, they are not met. There is something else going on here. And how that happens and how that is resolved is really the crux of the story. And it is that climactic scene that I had originally thought about when I had first come up with the idea of the story. So who she is and how she develops and what their relationship is becomes the primary focus of the film and of the resolution of the film.
Well, my anecdote about the mysterious woman is something that we shouldn't really talk about, but I am just going to talk about it, and maybe we'll edit it out. But I love the idea that we initially cast somebody very beautiful, very talented, and I had many conversations with her about the screenplay, about the character, and she was very prepared to do it and was very excited. And for some reason, at the last moment, in a very mysterious way, just like the mysterious woman, I mean, she very much looks like her a little bit too. Anyway, at the very last moment, she pulled out of the project. And the second anecdote is that ever since that time, I have not been able to get a hold of her. Presumably, she may have blocked me. I'm not really sure. But it was very hilarious because she actually wrote a book. She wrote a biography. She's a well-known person. I won't obviously say who she is. But she wrote a book about being bipolar. So let's not take it personal. But I thought it was very amazing that we cast her as Mysterious Woman and then she disappears mysteriously. So anyway, welcome to Los Angeles, everybody.
Yeah, that is.
But
that
it's
is
okay.
Interesting
We replaced
stories.
her nicely. I think Laura did a good job.
Absolutely, and I think the other aspect of of this story is we want the audience to feel what our characters feel. We want our audience to relate to these people. When Joph as a teenager falls in love with his girlfriend, we want to experience that. We want to feel that. She's beautiful, he's beautiful, they're having a wonderful time. We can think about that. We can relate to that on some level. And when Joph seeks out the mysterious woman, we'll believe that. We'll believe that he needs that. Whatever the outcome, we'll believe that he needs to get to her, to save himself, to save her, to save them both from the entity. So that's important. So the casting is important, and I think Laura can pull it off without a doubt. Without a doubt.